WWE is packed with high-flying action, intense drama, and huge superstars. But have you ever wondered why some of your favorite wrestlers suddenly disappear? Believe it or not, one of the biggest reasons isn't injuries or creative differences. It's weight. WWE enforces strict physical standards, and if a wrestler doesn't maintain their ideal shape, they risk losing their spot or even their job. Join us in this video as we reveal 9 wrestlers who got fired because of their weight. Number 9. Kia Stevens. Kia Stevens, better known as Karma in WWE and Awesome Kong in other promotions, was one of the most dominant female wrestlers of her time. She was known for her incredible strength, aggressive wrestling style, and imposing presence in the ring. Unlike many of the women in WWE at the time, who were often valued for their looks, Stevens was built like a powerhouse and could destroy opponents with ease. Her reputation was built in Japan and TNA wrestling, where she became one of the most feared female wrestlers in the industry. In 2010, WWE signed her to a contract and she was rebranded as Karma. Her debut was highly anticipated, as WWE hyped her arrival with a series of eerie vignettes showing her destroying dolls, symbolizing her intent to change the women's division. She officially debuted in 2011, attacking several female wrestlers and quickly establishing herself as a major threat. Fans were excited to see what she would do, and many believed she would soon become WWE Women's Champion. However, just as her career was gaining momentum, Karma disappeared from WWE television. In reality, she had discovered that she was pregnant, which forced her to take a leave of absence. She made a surprise appearance in the 2012 Royal Rumble match, becoming only the 3rd woman in history to compete in the Men's Royal Rumble. This moment was seen as a major achievement for her, but it was also the last time she would appear in WWE. Tragically, Kia Stevens later revealed that she suffered a miscarriage. The heartbreaking loss deeply affected her, and she struggled with the emotional toll it took on her life and career. While she had hoped to return to WWE, her mental and physical health became a major concern. Later that year, WWE officially released her. There were reports that WWE officials had concerns about her size and physical condition. By the time she was set to return, she had gained more weight, and WWE was hesitant to bring her back into action. Unlike other female wrestlers, who were expected to maintain a certain look, Stevens was already larger than most women in WWE. The company may have felt that her increased weight made it difficult for her to perform at the level they expected. After leaving WWE, Stevens returned to the independent wrestling scene and later made a comeback in TNA wrestling as Awesome Kong. She had a brief run in All Elite Wrestling in 2019, but eventually stepped away from in-ring competition. In 2021, she officially announced her retirement from wrestling. Number 8. Rikishi. Rikishi, born Solofa Fatu Jr., is a well-known member of the legendary Anoa'i wrestling family. He started his WWE career in the early 90s under different names, including Fatu and the Sultan. However, his most famous persona, Rikishi, was introduced in 1999. With his bleached blonde hair, sunglasses, and signature sumo-style attire, he quickly became a fan favorite. His association with Too Cool, along with his entertaining dance moves and unique stink face maneuver, made him one of the most popular superstars of the early 2000s. Despite his popularity, Rikishi's career in WWE came to an end in 2004, and one of the main reasons was his weight. WWE officials had concerns about his size, believing that it was affecting his mobility in the ring. The company reportedly asked him multiple times to lose weight, but he did not comply. This refusal became a major issue, as WWE had been emphasizing the importance of fitness and conditioning for its wrestlers. Apart from the weight concerns, Rikishi also suffered an ankle injury, which kept him out of action for a while. WWE management felt that he was not making enough effort to return quickly. To make matters worse, he appeared at an independent wrestling event without WWE's permission. This was seen as a violation of company policy and further damaged his standing with the organization. In July 2004, WWE made the decision to release Rikishi. His departure was attributed to his failure to lose weight, the ongoing injury issues, and his unauthorized appearance at an outside event. Despite this, Rikishi continued to wrestle in various independent promotions and even had a brief run in total non-stop action wrestling in 2007. In 2015, WWE recognized Rikishi's contributions to the industry by inducting him into the Hall of Fame. His legacy as a charismatic and entertaining performer remains strong, and he continues to be involved in wrestling, both as a mentor to his sons, the Usos, and through occasional appearances in WWE. Number 7. Gangrel. Gangrel, whose real name is David Heath, was one of the most unique characters in WWE during the late 1990s and early 2000s. With his vampire-inspired persona, he became a fan favorite, especially as the leader of the Brood alongside Edge and Christian. Before joining WWE, Heath wrestled in various promotions, developing his skills and crafting his in-ring persona. In 1998, he debuted as Gangrel, a gothic, vampire-like character. His entrance, where he emerged from a ring of fire while sipping from a goblet, became one of the most memorable in wrestling history. Despite his success, WWE released Gangrel in 2001. While injuries played a role in his career setbacks, reports at the time suggested that his release was mainly due to weight issues. WWE had concerns about his physical condition, and he was reportedly asked to lose weight to maintain his spot on the roster. However, when he failed to meet their expectations, the company let him go. This was a common practice in WWE, as they placed a strong emphasis on maintaining a certain look and level of physical fitness for their performers. After his WWE departure, Gangrel remained active in the wrestling scene. He wrestled extensively in the United Kingdom with all-star promotions, working under promoter Brian Dixon. He performed nearly every night, helping to train future stars like Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Between 2004 and 2007, WWE brought Gangrel back several times. In 2006, there were plans for him to be a part of a vampire-themed faction in WWE's version of ECW alongside Kevin Thorne and Ariel. However, these plans never fully materialized, and he was released again. One of the biggest challenges in Gangrel's career involved the rights to his ring name. WWE had originally leased the name from White Wolf, a company known for its role-playing games. By 2007, this lease had expired, and WWE used the name without proper authorization during one of his special appearances. A legal dispute followed, with a judge ultimately ruling that since Gangrel had been using the name for over a decade, he had a stronger claim to it than either WWE or White Wolf. Years of wrestling took a toll on Gangrel's body. In 2005, during a WWE return, he suffered burns due to a malfunction in his entrance pyrotechnics. More recently, in 2024, he underwent total hip and knee replacements. Despite these health issues, he remains optimistic about recovery and continues to be involved in wrestling. Number 6. Big Show. Big Show, whose real name is Paul White, was one of the largest and most recognizable wrestlers in WWE history. Standing over 7 feet tall and weighing well over 400 pounds for most of his career, he was often compared to legends like Andre the Giant. He made his wrestling debut in World Championship Wrestling in the mid-1990s under the name The Giant and quickly became a world champion. In 1999, he made the jump to WWE, where he was immediately pushed as a top star. Despite his success in WWE, Big Show faced struggles with his weight throughout his career. Vince McMahon and other WWE officials had concerns about his conditioning, as carrying such a massive frame made it difficult for him to maintain agility and stamina in the ring. In the early 2000s, these concerns grew, leading to WWE making a tough decision. In 2000, Big Show was sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling, WWE's developmental territory, to lose weight and improve his conditioning. He was taken off television, and it was made clear that he would not return until he was in better shape. Although he did lose some weight and return to the main roster, Big Show's size continued to be a topic of concern. By 2006, his body was taking a lot of damage due to the wear and tear of wrestling at his weight. His knees, back, and overall health were suffering, and he was having trouble moving as well as he once did. As a result, in 2007, WWE and Big Show agreed that he would step away from wrestling. At the time, he weighed close to 500 pounds, and doctors warned him that his long-term health was at risk if he did not make major changes. During his time away, Big Show focused on losing weight and improving his overall health. He worked with trainers and changed his diet, managing to drop over 100 pounds. He also explored other opportunities outside of wrestling, including boxing and acting. After spending over a year away, he made his return to WWE in 2008 at No Way Out, looking much leaner and in better shape. His return was well received, and he quickly re-established himself as a top superstar. Big Show remained with WWE for more than a decade after his return, winning multiple championships and playing a key role in various storylines. Over the years, he continued working on his weight and conditioning, going through periods where he would slim down and then regain some weight due to the demands of wrestling. In 2021, he officially left WWE and signed with All Elite Wrestling, where he took on a more limited wrestling role while also working as a commentator. His career is a rare example of a big man who managed to stay relevant for decades despite struggles with weight and health issues. Unlike others who were let go due to weight concerns, Big Show was able to turn things around and extend his career by making the necessary changes to stay in shape. Number 5. Mickie James. Mickie James was one of the most talented and successful female wrestlers in WWE history. She made her debut in WWE in the mid-2000s and quickly became one of the most popular women in the company. She won multiple championships and had legendary rivalries with top stars like Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix, and Melina. Unlike many women wrestlers at the time, who were signed more for their looks than their in-ring skills, Mickie had both talent and charisma, making her a fan favorite. Despite her success, Mickie James's time in WWE took a shocking turn in 2010 when she was suddenly released from the company. Reports surfaced that her weight was one of the reasons. At the time, Mickie had gained some weight, though she was still in great shape compared to an average person. However, WWE had strict standards for how female wrestlers were expected to look, and officials reportedly felt that she was not as slim as they wanted. This issue became public when WWE introduced an embarrassing storyline about Mickie's weight. During her feud with Lay Cool, which consisted of Layla and Michelle McCool, she was cruelly mocked for being fat, even though she was nowhere close to being overweight. Lay Cool repeatedly called her names like Mickie James and made fun of her body on live television. Many fans were outraged by the storyline, feeling that it was both unnecessary and disrespectful to someone who had given so much to WWE. Behind the scenes, Mickie reportedly faced pressure from WWE management to lose weight. However, she was already an accomplished wrestler who had proven herself in the ring. Instead of focusing on her talent, WWE chose to humiliate her on screen, which many believe was their way of sending a message. A few months after the storyline ended, Mickie was released from WWE, further fueling speculation that her weight played a role in the decision. After leaving WWE, Mickie James did not let the setback stop her. She went on to have a highly successful career in TNA wrestling, where she won multiple championships and proved that she was still one of the best female wrestlers in the world. She also pursued a career in country music, showing that she had talents beyond wrestling. In 2016, Mickie returned to WWE for a one-time match against Asuka in NXT, and she impressed everyone with her performance. This led to her signing a new WWE contract in 2017. She had another solid run in the company, working with younger talent and reminding fans why she was one of the best female wrestlers of her time. Mickie James's career shows that talent and hard work can overcome even the most unfair treatment. Despite being body-shamed and released by WWE, she proved her worth by becoming a legend in women's wrestling. Number 4. Sage Beckett. Sage Beckett, whose real name is Mary Kate Duignan Glidewell, was a talented wrestler who spent years working hard to make a name for herself in the wrestling business. She started her career in the mid-2000s, wrestling under different names like Rosie Lotta-Love. She gained attention because of her size and power, standing out in a business that often favored smaller and more conventionally attractive women. In her early years, Sage wrestled in total non-stop action wrestling, where she was briefly part of the Knockouts division. However, during this time, she struggled with her weight and injuries, leading her to step away from wrestling in 2012. She focused on improving her health, losing over 100 pounds, and getting into better shape. When she returned to the ring, she rebranded herself as Sage Beckett, showing off a new level of dedication and passion for wrestling. Her hard work paid off when WWE signed her in 2017. She joined the WWE Performance Center and was expected to be a unique addition to the women's division. She also participated in the Mae Young Classic, a tournament that showcased female wrestlers from all over the world. However, despite her talent and new look, WWE never gave her a real opportunity to shine. In 2018, just 1 year after signing with WWE, Sage Beckett was released from her contract. Reports suggested that her size played a role in the decision. Even though she had lost a significant amount of weight before joining WWE, she was still larger than most of the women in the company. WWE had a history of favoring female wrestlers with a certain body type, and despite her dedication and effort, Sage did not fit their image of a top female star. After being released, Sage expressed her frustration, but remained positive about her future. She stepped away from wrestling once again and focused on other career opportunities. Unlike some wrestlers who continue fighting for a spot in WWE or other major promotions, Sage chose a different path and focused on her personal well-being. Before we move on, it is time for today's subscriber's pick. Take a look at this picture. This is Yokozuna, one of the most dominant wrestlers in WWE history, but also one of the most controversial when it came to weight issues. Despite being a former WWE champion and a fan favorite, his increasing size became a major concern for the company. WWE officials repeatedly asked him to lose weight, but when he couldn't get down to their desired size, he was ultimately let go. Was WWE right to fire him over his weight, or should they have worked around it? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Number 3. Keith Lee. Keith Lee was one of the most gifted big men to ever step into a wrestling ring. Weighing over 300 pounds and standing well over 6 feet tall, he was not just a powerhouse, he was also incredibly athletic. He could move like a cruiserweight, performing moves like moonsaults and dives that most wrestlers his size could never pull off. His mix of power, speed, and agility made him stand out everywhere he wrestled. Before joining WWE, Keith Lee had already made a name for himself on the independent scene, wrestling for promotions like Ring of Honor and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. His performances caught the attention of WWE, and in 2018, he signed with the company. He started in NXT, WWE's developmental brand, where he quickly became one of the top stars. By 2020, he had won both the NXT Championship and the North American Championship, making history as the first person to hold both titles at the same time. His success in NXT led to a main roster call-up later in 2020. At first, it seemed like WWE had big plans for him. He had matches against some of the company's top stars, including Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. However, as time went on, WWE's treatment of him became more confusing. His character was changed, his theme music was replaced, and he was taken off television for long periods. One of the biggest setbacks came when WWE reportedly told Keith Lee to change his wrestling style. Despite his size, he was known for his high-flying moves and agility. However, WWE officials wanted him to wrestle more like a traditional big man, focusing only on power moves. There were also reports that WWE sent him to train at their performance center to work on his in-ring style, which many fans and experts found strange, since he was already an accomplished wrestler. Things got worse when Keith Lee was diagnosed with serious health issues in early 2021. He was taken off television for several months, and when he returned, WWE tried to rebrand him as Bearcat Keith Lee, a name that confused many fans. It seemed like WWE was struggling to figure out how to use him properly. In November 2021, WWE suddenly released Keith Lee. The official reason given was budget cuts, but many believed other factors were involved. Reports suggested that WWE officials were unhappy with his weight and overall appearance. Vince McMahon was rumored to have concerns about his look and wanted him to slim down or wrestle differently. Even though Keith Lee had proven himself in NXT and on the independent scene, WWE did not seem to fully believe in him as a main roster star. After leaving WWE, Keith Lee did not stay unemployed for long. In early 2022, he signed with All Elite Wrestling, where he was immediately treated like a big deal. He won the AEW Tag Team Championship alongside Swerve Strickland, proving that he still had plenty to offer in the wrestling business. Number 2. Bray Wyatt. When WWE released Bray Wyatt in 2021, it shocked fans around the world. Wyatt wasn't just another wrestler. He was a former WWE champion, a top merchandise seller, and one of the most creative minds in the business. His sudden exit didn't make sense on the surface, but behind the scenes, there were deeper issues that led to his departure. One of the biggest factors was Wyatt's relationship with Vince McMahon. The two reportedly never saw eye to eye, often clashing over creative decisions. Wyatt had a strong vision for his character, but McMahon was known for having firm control over how wrestlers were presented. They butted heads multiple times, especially when it came to Wyatt's storylines and the way WWE handled his Fiend character. Another issue was McMahon's opinion of Wyatt's appearance. McMahon had a history of making comments about how wrestlers looked, and Wyatt was no exception. Reports surfaced that McMahon was not happy with Wyatt's body shape and overall image, despite his incredible in-ring talent and fan following. Many within WWE felt that this played a big role in the decision to release him. There were also rumors that WWE labeled Wyatt as having an attitude problem. This was similar to what was said about other released wrestlers like Keith Lee. However, for many fans and insiders, the real issue seemed to be that Wyatt stood up for himself. He was passionate about his character and was not afraid to push back when he felt WWE was making bad creative choices. In a company where McMahon's vision was final, that often led to problems. Ultimately, Wyatt's release showed how WWE sometimes failed to value its most unique talents. He was one of the most popular and marketable stars, yet backstage politics and creative disagreements led to his shocking departure. When WWE eventually rehired Wyatt in 2022 under Triple H's leadership, fans were hopeful for a proper redemption arc. However, his return was plagued by cryptic storytelling that lacked resolution, injuries, and eventually, his tragic passing in 2023. His death was a heartbreaking loss to the wrestling world, as he was widely regarded as one of the most innovative and creative minds in the business. Number 1. Eugene. Nick Dinsmore, better known as Eugene in WWE, was a highly skilled wrestler who spent years perfecting his craft before getting a chance on the big stage. He had a solid background in technical wrestling and was respected in the industry for his in-ring ability. However, when WWE finally brought him to television in 2004, it was not as himself, but as a character named Eugene, a man with a childlike mind who was portrayed as overly innocent and obsessed with wrestling. Despite the controversy surrounding the character, Eugene quickly became popular with fans. He was booked as a lovable underdog who, despite his innocence, could wrestle just as well as the top stars. He was involved in major storylines with legends like Triple H, The Rock, and Kurt Angle, and at one point, he even won the WWE Tag Team Championship alongside William Regal. However, behind the scenes, WWE was not always fully invested in him. By 2007, Eugene's role in the company had diminished, and WWE released him. The official reason given was that he was out of shape and not in the condition they expected from their wrestlers. Reports at the time suggested that WWE officials felt he had gained too much weight and was not moving as well in the ring as he once did. After his release, Dinsmore did not give up on wrestling. He competed on the independent scene for several years, proving that he still had the skills to perform at a high level. In 2009, WWE brought him back for a short time, but just a few months later, he was let go again. Once again, there were rumors that his physical condition was not up to WWE's standards. Years later, in 2013, WWE gave him another opportunity, this time as a trainer at the WWE Performance Center. It seemed like a perfect role for him since he had years of experience and could teach young wrestlers the technical side of the business. However, his time as a trainer did not last long. Less than a year after being hired, WWE released him again. The company never gave an official reason, but some speculated that he was let go due to cost-cutting measures, while others believed WWE still had concerns about his weight and overall appearance. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.